Hi traders, I'm Lance Beggs from YourTradingCoach.com. Welcome to video 2 in our series, The Importance of Exit Strategy. We'll be going fairly quickly because YouTube only allows 10 minutes, so if you can't keep up, the text from this video is available on my website, YourTradingCoach.com. So what did we learn in video 1? The exit is more important than the entry. The exit has more bearing on whether the trade ends in profit or in loss. But there can be no perfect exit strategy that best manages every trade. So what's a trader to do? In this part of the video series, I'd like to discuss some of the principles or personal beliefs that I used in formulating an exit plan. Coming up then in part 3, we'll examine my exit strategy and share some advice from great authors and traders who have helped shape my current beliefs regarding exits. As always, don't believe a word I say. This is simply what works for me, based on some of my market beliefs. I'm serious, you need to test everything. If what works for me contradicts or is incompatible with your style of trading, then it probably won't work for you, either technically or psychologically. By all means try it, but test it before going live. Enough of that, let's get on to exits. Belief number 1, fixed rules don't work, at least none that I know of. I'm assuming from some of the email feedback I received over the last week that people were hoping I was going to present the Holy Grail exit rule, something along the lines of, if the standard deviation of the 14-period ATR is less than 2/3 of pi times the 3-period ATR, then set your stop at 1.8 ATR, else 2.5 times the average true range. Now set your stop and walk away. Sorry folks, that's not how it works, and I'm really sorry if that disappoints you. By all means test that last rule, but do not trade with it because I really did just make it up. The fact is that I don't know of any objective rule like this that you can apply to ensure you get the best type of exit each time. As we discovered in part 1, you cannot know which exit would have worked best until the trade is history. The good news though is that you don't need a fixed rule like this. Belief number 2, you will never perfect your exit strategy. Case in point, Larry Connors, co-author of Street Smarts with Linda Raschke, recalls in that book a retired friend of his who made over $100 million trading futures, who stated that his biggest weakness was that he never mastered his exit strategy. If you haven't mastered your exit strategy, then don't worry, you're in good company. I haven't mastered mine either, and although I'm still well short of my 100 million, I am comfortable with the imperfection of my exits. You need to accept imperfection. You need to accept less than ideal results. Okay, your live results will not look as good as the charts look in hindsight, but that's fine. Belief number 3, the real damage is psychological, not financial. The real damage by taking a large loss is not necessarily the financial damage, but rather the psychological damage. Holding a loss past the stops digs a hole that psychologically is very hard to get out of. The real damage done by exiting a trade for small profit and then watching it blast off without you to what could have been the trade of your life is not financial. Lost opportunity didn't cost you any money. Rather, the real damage is psychological. The damage through watching a profitable trade turn around and go right through break even as well to the exit at the maximum stop is once again not financial but psychological. We're all human, so single trade errors will happen. However, the worst mistake of all is allowing poor money or risk management to continue beyond that one trade, eroding our capital and placing us into a large drawdown. The psychological damage here is often overwhelming and is what will take many novice traders right out of the game. Belief number 4, your exit strategy must be designed to match your trading psychology. This is possibly the most important part of exits in my opinion. If you take nothing else away, at least please consider this belief and see how it relates to your own trading. Because of the fact that the real damage is psychological, I believe you need to design your exit strategy to best match your trading psychology. This may not necessarily be what produces greatest profits. Do not optimize for maximum profits. Instead, optimize to ensure compatibility with your trading psychology. Do you hate missing the big moves more than anything? Then you need to perhaps consider wider stops to ensure you're not stopped out before the move, with some form of trailing stop to keep you in the market for the whole move. Of course, this wider stop will come at the cost of a lower winning percentage. Do you hate seeing a profitable trade turn into a loss? Then you should design your exit strategy to include aggressive movement of your stop to break even, or a small profit. Of course, this will come at the expense of being stopped out more often on a retracement and missing the real move. You'll see an example in part 3 of this video series when we look at how my exit strategy is designed to fit with my trading psychology. Belief 5, a good defense is better than a good offense. Your goal is to ensure the market cannot take you out of the game. You must, before anything else, ensure you survive to trade another day. There could be 5 possible outcomes from any trade: a large win, small win, break even, small loss, or large loss. The nature of the market is uncertainty, and it doesn't matter how certain your analysis is, you are still dealing with probabilities. You will still face losses. So what can you as a trader control? You have limited control over the profits. However, you do have how much you lose, though, is totally within your control. You have total control of your losses. If you end up taking a large loss, it's simply because you didn't exit for a smaller loss. The larger losses are what can take you out of this game. If you ensure you never suffer a larger loss, then you'll get lots of small wins, lots of small losses, lots of break-even trades, and some big wins. But you should never suffer a big loss, so you increase the likelihood of surviving to trade another day. We control risk to ensure we don't get big losses. Belief 6. Different exit styles produce better results in different market conditions. In a choppy sideways market, taking profits at predetermined price targets will generally over time produce better results than trailing a stop. In a smoothly trending market with what I call nice flow, a trailing stop will generally over time produce better results than taking profits. Fairly obvious so far. However, I also believe that in a trending market that trends with very volatile and choppy price action, once again taking profits at predetermined price targets on each of the swings will generally over time produce better results than trailing a stop. So how does your market move? This should influence your trading style and exit management. And does this still suit your psychological requirements we discussed earlier? Belief 7. Stop placement involves a trade-off between winning percentage and the ratio of average win to average loss. We saw this briefly when we discussed psychology. When we use stop-loss management in an attempt to increase our winning percentage, it often comes at the cost of a smaller average win-loss ratio through either smaller average wins or larger average losses. For example, widening your initial stop will increase your percentage of winning trades, but at the cost of a larger average loss on those occasions when you do get stopped out. And when we use stop-loss management in an attempt to increase our average win-loss ratio, it often comes at the cost of a smaller percentage of winning trades. For example, tightening up your initial stop will certainly result in a smaller average loss, and therefore an increase in your average win-loss ratio. However, your winning percentage will also decrease, simply because you will now be stopped out more often. So this brings us back to psychology. What are you more comfortable with? A smaller percentage of winning trades but bigger profits when you do win? Or a larger percentage of winning trades, being happier with smaller wins each time? Belief 8. Initial stop-loss placement should be at a place that says your analysis or timing was wrong. Keep your stops as tight as you can, but make sure they're beyond the noise of the market. If your analysis and timing was correct, the price should never get to the stop. So set stops based on the price action, not just based on how many dollars you are willing to lose. If the price action requires too much dollar risk, then lower your position size to reduce the risk accordingly, or just pass on the trade. Belief number 9. When the edge is gone, get out. You don't need to hold your trade till it stops out. No one is making you stay in the market. Simply put, if the price is not moving how you expected after entry, then get out. You can always get back in later if another setup or trigger occurs. In fact, this is a great way to increase the average win to average loss ratio, not by increasing the size of your average win, but by reducing the size of your average loss. A lot of people won't take trades which offer less than a 2-to-1 win-loss ratio. I'll accept 1-to-1 anytime because I aim to not let the trade hit the stop. If price shows the edge is gone, I'm out of there. So my average loss will therefore be less than 1. So let's take a short break to allow you to absorb this, and in part 3 we'll continue by reviewing my approach to intraday trading stop management, and then by looking at some great advice from traders and trading educators who have played pivotal roles in shaping my exit beliefs. That was very rushed. As I said, we only have 10 minutes. If you couldn't keep up, go to www.yourtradingcoach.com and search for the text from this video. I'm Lance Beggs from yourtradingcoach.com, wishing you happy trading and many profitable exits.